These are the trends. Now, there are dozens and dozens of trends, major and minor trends, and I picked out 5 trends. 4 of them I think are really significant, and 1 I think is really interesting. I'm not sure how significant it is, but I want to just, it kind of fits with the message that you need to take away. First of all, we just talked about food prices, and this whole business of there are more and more people couponing all the time. And my belief is that couponing is about to change and explode, where people will be buying food in a lot of different, in a different way than they ever have before. It may come to the point where you'll be able to go in and, sort of like the travel industry, name your price. I wouldn't be surprised if we get to that at some point. Things that we can't imagine yet taking place. So that number 1 trend, food prices, people are becoming more cost conscious all the time. In that second bullet, given the fact that food prices are rising, the choices are exploding all over the place. Again, technology providing us with all kinds of ways of buying food. In our household, quinoa has become a tremendous substitute for meat protein. Sorry about that pork guy, but we still buy pork. Supermarkets are working hard at very, very unique, creative, and innovative ways of selling food to us, given the changes that are going on. The number 2 trend is, again, based on the technology that's driven this business of a good term of it is groupiness, is the Occupy Wall Street, the Arab Spring phenomena that wouldn't have occurred without the BlackBerry and the iPhone and so on. Those sorts of phenomena are going to affect food use. People are going to be not only buying it a little differently because of that sort of congregational attitude that the younger generation particularly are picking up, but there's going to be some wild and woolly things happening. See that second bullet, 25% of the people that work in Canada, I haven't got the number of people totally, are people that are not married. They're single people. And they're starting to socialize around food quite differently. And this is the last bullet in Never Shop or Eat Alone. A differentiation at the bottom there into particular food groups. There are websites and forums and organizations for all of the sort of food sub-sectors. Gluten-free is another one that you can get gluten-free food in a lot of major restaurants now, where it was almost non-existent just a couple of years ago. More and more people are finding they've got that problem. Trend number 3, and this is again consistent with my sort of pattern here of trying to pick out what I think is really critical amongst a group of all important facets, and this one, the baby boom generation is still the biggest driver in our society. Ergo, it's going to influence food buying, food usage for years and years to come. Lifestyles are getting longer. And the health and wellness concerns are really filtering all the way down into the younger and younger generations where they never did before. You know, I'm going to live forever. I'm 22 years old, I'm going to live forever. So it doesn't matter whether I smoke and drink and do drugs. Brand loyalty, and those of you who stick with us through the next series of workshops, we're going to talk a lot about that business of making sure you're building your products and your businesses around brand or a differentiation at least. You may not even brand your product in the traditional sense, but a consumer has to be able to go back into a store or some other place where they buy food and pick out your product amongst all of the sea of other products that are there. They have to be able to see, there's the one. I had that before. It was a great eating experience. It was the right price for me. The kids loved it. I'm going to buy 2 packages this time. That's what you're aiming for. Now we talked, a lot of you brought up this trend, and this trend is not finished yet. It's still got lots of upside. It's going to go for the foreseeable future. More and more farmers, again, the younger the farmers are, the more likely they are to have a blog of their own, a website of their own, and to start to really use that tool across the internet of promoting their product, satisfying their customers with other things besides the product itself. There's the farmers again. We don't really know how well this the farmer to consumer trend will go. We know obviously that the farmers market sort of sector is expanding rapidly, but also is the direct food buying online. So no one's really sure where that's going to go yet. You may remember a number of years ago there were a lot of IPOs, companies in the States that were going to build great technological companies where people in the big cities would order their food online that would be delivered, and it never worked. And there's still some vestiges of it around, but it just was a big surprise it didn't work. Extreme home cooking, this is the one I kind of picked out. I thought it was kind of neat. And by the way, these trends were just published in the BC Food Processors Association newsletter that came out not long ago, although I didn't get them from there, but there's a source for them all if you want to see them. And I talked about this issue before. Men are doing more food buying and more cooking. You've got, in this next bullet, you've got that aspect again of socializing around food, which appears to be a big growing trend. Now, how you can take advantage of that at this point, we're probably not there yet, but we'll be working on it. Okay? A new definition of value meat could extend to quantity discounts of fast food establishments and other restaurants. There's a fast food organization right now experimenting with this idea. Everybody's looking for that competitive edge that will give them that. There you have the 5 trends that are impacting food buying today. And I'd like you now to take a couple of minutes and individually jot down the ideas that probably occurred to you during that session on which of these food buying trends might impact the success of your product and why.